everyone. My name is Colleen, and I am a marketing associate for We Can Code It. And I'm here today with Cynthia Gonzalez, who is one of our graduates. She has a very inspiring story to share with you, and we're just gonna jump right into asking her some questions and learning about her story. So, Cynthia, talking about your journey into tech, can you share what initially drew you to pursue a career in technology and project management?
Well, I've been in tech for about, oh my God, tells my age, probably about 35 years, close to 40. I started very young with Pac Bell, California as a basic provisioner, and then I moved into the fiber optics and started with the engineering program there and decided to go to school and study network
Okay.
administration. Mhm.
Awesome. So how did We Can Code It help you achieve some of your tech goals and some of your educational goals?
Well, I had been working with Mosaic Education as their NICS, National Curriculum Instruction Specialist for IT. So I handled all the network administration side for all testing and applications. And there was a lot of stuff I didn't understand on the coding side or the back end when we were asking for things. I needed to become more familiarized with the language and on the projects I was handling for Mosaic on all of the online applications for K through 8 and also implementing all technology and enhancing the classroom for technology use as well. And I decided when my job was changing, they had been merged with another company, and I had chosen to take a severance and leave after 15 years of service. And I had been in every aspect of their IT department as well as their chief officer of tech.
Oh my God.
So I decided to move on. And when I decided to move on, I made a choice to learn more about the back end and front end and a little bit more about coding and how that is initiated, as well as project management as an agile scrum master, and learn more about that side of the house because I wanted to get more involved in having a knowledge of understanding what's going on during my project and not totally, I guess you could say, acting in the sense that I could not understand a lot of the language that had changed in the coding world, and it kind of brought me into the now, so I can move forward and look for a job that was more into over on the e-commerce side and start looking at more cloud-based applications and working in that area and applications for ERPs.
Awesome. Very impressive. You sound like quite the continuous learner. Yeah, which is something very
And it's
important.
still continuing every day.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's what
having
it
a
does.
career in tech, right?
Yeah.
So you obviously had to make a decision when it came to deciding which educational path you wanted to take, pursuing more education, going to a university, attending a coding boot camp. So what stood out about We Can Code It to you to where you wanted to attend our program?
Well, at the time, I'm still a single mom, but they're already in college. They're done. They're out there in the world doing their thing.
Yeah.
At the time, I did have two young girls, and they were in elementary ed. And I wanted something agile that I was able to go in the day and almost have the same hours as them and be home when they're home, because that was very important to me. Even with my job as I was in IT, I worked from home. I was a field tech engineer. I've had a lot of flexibility like that. I needed that same flexibility in which going to courses and having night courses, that wasn't going to work for me. So I had to go while they were in school. So, and also we can code it with the boot camp and the weeks that were involved. I was like, I could do this. I'm going to probably have to be totally committed. My social life there was no social life before. So there was really no social life. It was
Yeah.
just with my team, working with my team once we were teamed up and, getting our projects to the final stage. And I'm not going to say that I was probably one of the oldest in there besides two other that didn't kind of make it, but I stuck it out, and it was a journey altogether. I learned a lot about working as a really close team because we had to depend on each other to finish the boot camp. So it was a lot of learning how to kind of let yourself expose yourself, be okay with other people all the time in and out of class, spending a lot of time together at my house or their house, depending on where the study groups are going. And yeah, so it was a big achievement to me because in after 15 years to go back to learn something new was something very challenging for me because sometimes I'm more of a self learner. I do a lot of independent learning. I research a lot. And if anybody knows me and or close to me, they'll tell you, just ask Cynthia, she'll figure it out. She'll just throw it, she'll research it. So
Uh,
I do the work. I'll do the
uh,
footwork, on that. And that's I think where I became more interested in the ITPM side because I do research and I do make sure that we're meeting the needs of that end user, and the end user is my key user, so I have to accommodate all their needs when we're making any decisions in technology for any practices of ERP processes or automation. So that's kind of where I learned a lot of that from working with We Could Code it, be more acceptable and listen a lot more on that end.
Great. So do you feel, I'm guessing the answer might be yes, but do you feel that you took some certain aspects from We Can Code It in the boot camp and you transition that and use that in your career?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. And it's really cool though sometimes when they are speaking in their development language and they talk about a switch case or they talk about this of if and I understand it now. Before I was like, so what are you trying to do? And now when they talk about what during our discovery, and they talk about some of the coding they're going to have to do to enhance either a button in the system or automate something. They talk about that, and I understand the workflows clearly. I understand a lot of what has to integrate, what is not going to be part of the integration, and why not. So those are the things that I kind of took away as understanding that back end a little more clearly and not so gray, because I mean, I used to walk out of meetings and say, "I'm not sure that if that's the right thing they're going to do," but now I'm more, I guess you could say, competent when it comes to making a decision to say, "Yeah, that makes sense to us. Let's do that." And then I have to explain it to my end user exactly what they're saying in layman terms,
Okay.
basically. Yeah, so I have to communicate that back to make sure they're okay with the decision that I'm gonna say, "Yeah, let's go with that on ourselves." So, there's a lot of decision making in between us, but at the end of the day, they're the ones who pull the trigger on
Got
whether
it.
or not we go
Okay.
forward. Yeah.
So obviously you spent many years already working in the tech industry before you attended We Can Code It, right? And
Yes.
you were transitioning into a new role after attending boot camp, correct?
Mhm.
So did you receive any career assistance from We Can Code It? Did you work with the career coaches at all or find any of their resources valuable?
While I was studying with We Can Code It, I did work with some of the resources and we were talking and they helped me with my resume, by the way. We did the resume build there. All of us did the resume build and we worked with each other to help our resumes kind of speak to what we've just been through as well as what we wanted to do and what we were looking for. And my resume was really built for technical excellence and directorship.
Mhm.
So, that's kind of where and I put it out there, and I had got a job offer 3 weeks before I graduated. And so
Congrats.
I had told the team, and I also told my teachers that I have a job offer. When I'm done here, I'm actually gonna start working. But I did go to the career building thing, which was great, and I did get some interest there as well, but the job offer that was given to me was pretty solid. And I had already but I went through the process just to see what the process looked like and also the interview questions and able to answer those questions. And there were several people who were very interested in me, but I had already said yes to that job offer because it was a good offer and it made sense to me.
Good for you. All right, you're a hot commodity.
I don't know about that.
Oh, you're humble. You're humble. Okay, so how about this? Considering you are a woman in tech, which is technically an underrepresented group in the tech industry, how did you feel the classroom environment to be at We Can Code It? How were the instructors? Do you feel that you were, did you feel comfortable in the classroom?
Oh, the classroom was very much it was very balanced. I say my class was a little there were a little bit more women than men in that
Okay.
class. And the women, a lot of the women hung it out. We did lose about 6 people through the boot camp because it's pretty intense, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, because it's a lot, and everybody stuck it out, and everybody that I worked in my team, we all went to graduation because we wouldn't let each other quit. And there was a
Nice.
couple people that wanted to quit, and we were like, "Why? You're already for well, I'm just gonna go talk to the administration to tell." We're like, "No, you can't. What do you need?" And a lot of it was an emotional journey for some of these people because they were so committed and they had such a big social life. Their social life was 0 and they were starting to miss people and miss their family, miss their friends. And it was like, "No, we have 4 more weeks. You can't quit now, or you have 6 more weeks. Yeah." So we just were each other's cheerleader,
That's wonderful.
and we kind of drug each other together all across the finish line. But it
Okay.
was fun, and it was fun, and it was I'm not gonna lie, it was stressful, but at the end of it all, it made sense to
Good.
complete. It didn't feel like I just completed, what did I do? It was like, "Oh my god, I'm completed. Oh, I already have a job offer." It was with my new resume. So my old resume wasn't getting me that. So I was like, just to have that additional knowledge, which means I'm not going to be a coder. I knew that. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the director of IT. And that's pretty much where I'm going right now. It's my next step. I just got the offer here at the company. So I will be taking that promotion as well.
Congratulations. How
Yeah.
exciting.
And
So
that
it
was a
sounds
journey.
like, hey, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. It sounds like you went into the program with some dreams and aspirations, right?
Yes.
Would you
Yes.
say, you
They've
would
been
say
met.
that the boot camp helped you achieve these dreams
Yes.
and aspirations?
Yes. And it also gave me the confidence to be able to sit at the table with developers and all different type of integration teams and understand and explain what our needs are and being able to fill the needs of our end users. And actually, when people come up and say, "Oh, I'm so glad now we have the scanners in place." I do a lot of automation, mobile automation. I work in manufacturing. I thought manufacturing to be more robust because you have the automation on the floor, plus you have the ERP system, and everything has to touch each other and have to meet up. And I work with finance because finance comes after you if nothing looks right. So you work with all aspects of supply chain, finance, and manufacturing. And I like that because it's always changing.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So you kind of started getting into it, but do you want to tell us about your current role and maybe your future role?
Well, my current role here at the NOCO company, I work for they're the battery company here in Ohio. I'm their ERP IT PM manager. So I carry 2 hats, of course. That's what it always happens when I get a job. And I basically have brought a lot of automation to their floor. When I came to them, they were very, I could say, Excel driven, paper driven. Paper has went away. I've been with them going on 2 years. The first year I stood up the scanning project out in the warehouse, and it has gave them 90% inventory versus the 50% accuracy. We've went to 90. And sometimes this year we closed actually in the black, not in the red, with the inventory, a physical inventory at the end of the year, using scanners. And scanners also gave them the ability to say who scanned the product, where the product was, and it just automated everything to where the paper was no longer the Bible. It was what was, and it was real time into the ERP system and inventory for the WMS side of the house. So it really increased their productivity as well, and rewrote the process, the SOP, the standard operation process for the manufacturing team. And that was fun because I haven't done that in a while. So I was able to do that. And our next endeavor is we're doing the 2024 IT initiative, which I put together with supply planning and logistics. We're taking them from their spreadsheets into two new apps that bolt onto the ERP system. So there'll be two integrations as well.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, so that's where we're at. And then because I've done a lot more of other things with Salesforce as well, integrations, and I've also done some things with customer service, taking Zendesk to Service Cloud and Salesforce and that implementation. I've had a lot of projects in this last 2 years that I've actually completed. And I now have been asked to, if I'd like to take the director of IT for NOCO and just do all their new enhancements and their initiatives and make sure we get the right people to hire in to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're very
Yeah.
impressive. Wow.
It's
And
a
a
lot
lot
of
of,
fun. And sometimes it's a lot of fun. And sometimes I walk out and I've just said, I just need to go hike.
yeah, yeah, get some
A good
fresh air,
hike. Yeah.
touch some
Just a good
grass.
hike. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
Grounded.
beautiful. Well, it sounds like you're such a dedicated hard worker. You're always learning, always looking to add some notches onto your belt. So, speaking for people who might be on the fence of attending We Can Code It, maybe that could be somebody who has no coding experience, is looking to pursue a whole new career, or somebody that's looking to upskill like you. What advice would you give to these people who might be on the fence?
I don't know. I think my personality, I'd always be very, I guess you could say, empathetic to people when they're making those decisions because those are big decisions to make. And if you're looking at really making a change and being more agile in the IT industry, I would say you should do it because it gives you this safety belt and it also gives you that piece where you can always go back to. Weekend Code is like that place where you go back to and ask questions. There's a couple times I went back to my teacher when I was working for GCG, by the way. I worked for Green Circle Growers too, and I did all their automation as well. Did a lot of scanning automation there too. So I just would say, and then just really lay it out. Where are you at, and where do you want to be? And if you are thinking to go back to a 4-year program, and if you're young enough, I mean, that's what you want to do. But if you want to fast track your goals, I would say do it through We Can Code It because it's not going to be a this you're going to have to be a coder. I mean, there's certain aspects you could take away from it and just use that to be part of your resume to build you towards your next goal in IT. And my
Okay.
goal was never to be a coder. My goal was to manage and understand and be that agile scrum master when coming to major enhancement projects and integrations. And that helped me get there. So there,
Awesome.
it's a bridge. There's so many different areas if you'd like to dive into them on the back end.